there's really nothing resembling the norm happening at all in this industry, at least for me. I've been able to find ways to stay creative. Lately, I've actually started trying to learn the piano. I just started taking piano lessons, and right now I'm literally playing like a 5-year-old. I mean, it's terrible.
When you were first starting out, did you have any mentors that gave you any advice, or was there anyone there that was like really supporting you at the start of your budding career?
Oh man, actually quite a few people. You know, one of the first sort of mentors that I had that I gave him the label of mentor, whether or not he accepts it, that is up to him. But there's this actor, Peter J. Fernandez, who I remember I was getting my my BFA in theater. We had to do a scene from a play, and I did a scene from a play that he was in, and that was, oh nope, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. It was one. No, it wasn't the scene that I got used to audition for my BFA. It was the scene that I got used to audition to get into college. Was from a play that he was in, and then when I later moved to New York, I met him, and we actually wound up doing a couple of readings and shows and things together, and I just wound up picking his brain at random times about what it is to be in the business and stuff. And so he's sort of like the first, like, straight up, like, that is a mentor. That is a guy that I looked up to, and asked him all the weird little questions and asked for all of his advice and how things work and all that. Like, that was the guy that I looked up to the most.
Kind of bouncing off of that, what do you think is the greatest advice that you've been given? And I mean, maybe to make it more specific about like acting, or maybe the process, or maybe even career-wise.
I think that a lot of acting professors say this to their students. They're like, they basically say, if you can be happy doing anything else, you should do that. But I mean, like, and at the time, it was just sort of like, it was jarring. It felt like really like tough love. But in retrospect, I've kind of come to understand that a little bit differently. Like, it's more about this industry being kind of tough and really random and arbitrary and not fair. And if it's not making you happy, it's okay to back off for a second. It's okay to explore other things for a second. It's, for the longest time, I didn't understand that. It wasn't until, a few years ago that it kind of all kind of, that it really clicked. Because I was on the verge of like getting out of the business. I was just sort of like, I've been fair about this. I'm, 35 years old, 36, 35, 36. I was, it's like, I've been fair, and I'm, I don't know that I'm enjoying this anymore. And I had that, like every actor has that moment where they're like, am I going to keep doing this? Do I really like this? And every time I would have that conversation with myself, the thought of not being an actor anymore actually felt like I was losing something. It made me feel like I was, like I was giving something up. Like I was, I felt mournful of the end of this thing. And, before The Good Place, I had that moment. And when I thought about not being an actor anymore, it actually felt like a relief. And I was sort of like, I'm actually okay leaving this behind. I think it's like, I've finally sort of gotten past the place of my happiness and entire self-worth being tied up in whether or not I get to do this thing. And I want other stuff in my life, and I want to try to be a better person. I want to be a better partner. I want to be a better friend. And so I'm okay with leaving this behind. And and then the good place happened. And I think that maybe it's just like knowing that you can always leave and come back. You know, it's art. It's supposed to be something that feels like you're imparting something, you're giving something. It doesn't necessarily have to always be about making a living. Now I'm hooked. Now I'm like, oh wow, I get to go to a set every day. I get to work with people every day, and you know, make a living wage, and they feed you for free. You know, like that's nuts. That's nuts. So it's just like it's really cushy. Now I really want some more jobs. So you know, it'll be tougher to walk away now.
Do you ever get nervous before starting a new job?
Yeah, every single time.
Really?
Every single time I get, yeah.
Does that, like, I feel like kind of like I've seen interviews with like you and the rest of the crew, the cast, and like I'm very envious of like those types of relationships that get to be formed when you're working with people for so long. Does the nerves go away once you kind of become a family in a way?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, yeah, like on set, the nerves are pretty much gone. Once you've been at it for a couple of months, you know, it's fine. You're done with the nerves. You're just, you know, just trying to do your job. But then like I'll tell you where I get nervous is actually press stuff. And when we like show up and we're on a panel together, I'm like, okay, you know, just don't say anything incredibly stupid. You know, just don't, you know, it's like when I have a script, I know I can't mess it up if I just say the words in the right order. But like when it's just me and my brain doing all the writing in the moment, who knows what will happen. So I'm just like, just don't mess up. Just don't mess up. And, you know, watching Ted and Kristen be so easy with it, and the rest of us, you know, this is all kind of new for us. And so we're all sort of like, you know, like just sort of taking their cues and watching them and seeing how they deal with everything, how they answer questions without answering. And, you know, like all these things like that, where it's like, right. Like they're pros at this part too. And I'm still figuring it out.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome. That's all the questions I have, and we totally went so far beyond our time. I hope this is okay.
Fine. It's fine.
No, but like, thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you, and again, congratulations on your nomination. It's really
Thanks.
awesome.
It was nice meeting you too. This was fun.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.